Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the things that nobody tells you about living at Lake of the Ozarks. Let's check it out. Okay guys, so clearly we're always talking about the pros of living here and why everybody's relocating in the lake and the lake life and all of the fun and all the things that you can do. And clearly, if you're thinking about relocating or moving or buying a vacation home, you're thinking of all of those reasons too, right? It's a great area, great lake, great people, tons of things to always do, but there's always things that nobody tells you about. So wanted to shoot a quick little video, have some fun with it, and share some things that you either don't know or that nobody is telling you. And you know, the first thing right off the bat that I just gotta throw out there that nobody told me when I made the transition and the move were the amount of bugs and spiders and just creepy crawly deals that you gotta deal with when you live at the lake. And when we made our purchase and we moved down here, we were pleasantly surprised, shocked by just the amount of bugs, right? And like thinking about it in hindsight now, right? You bought a property on a massive body of water. It's a flooded mountainous area full of trees and nature and forestry. Of course you're gonna have bugs. You're gonna have them everywhere, and they're gonna be seasonal. They're gonna be different bugs at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the summer, and at the end. Like, it's this constant revolving battle of how do you deal with bugs. And so, hey, nobody told me about that when I moved. It almost made us sell and move back, but you know, ultimately there are ways to kind of figure that out. But man, we were surprised. My wife was shocked, and nobody told us about the bug game. Now, if you do find a property and you make a purchase, clearly there are bug guys, right? And companies that can come out. They can power wash your home. They spray it with, you know, bug spray. You can put some essential oils on the dock to help mitigate the problem down there. So you can mitigate the problem, but don't come down here and think that there aren't going to be any bugs or any of that stuff. So nobody told me, but I'm telling you, got to keep an eye out for those bugs. Another thing that nobody told us when we made the transition down here is, you know, obviously we know that this is a summertime destination, and this lake really gets kind of congested during the peak season, so your Memorial Day to Labor Day. But we were taken back by the amount of traffic that can actually build up out on the main roads. And when you look at a map, you have Highway 54 that runs north and south on the east side of the lake. So it goes north all the way to Jeff City, goes south all the way through Camdenton. That is your main artery of transportation around the lake. And during those peak seasons and on weekends and of course holiday weekends, that thing can clog up. You can have a long line just trying to get to the grocery store or go to Walmart or whatever it is you're trying to do. We didn't know that, right? And of course, probably wherever you go, there's gonna be a little bit of traffic, but you think about sitting in traffic in some type of metropolitan city on an 8-lane highway, you don't think about it when you're, you know, down here, you know, tucked away into the nature and the rolling hills, and all of a sudden you have this massive traffic jam when you're just trying to go get some milk at the grocery store. So nobody told us about that, but I'm telling you, you also got to be cautious of when you're going to stores, weekends, peak seasons, and for sure holiday time frame. Another thing that nobody talked about or told us about was your cell phone coverage and Wi-Fi coverage here at the lake. And I'll be the first one to tell you, and it is massively important, especially if you're looking to relocate. You need a home, you need cell phone coverage, you need to have high-speed internet for your job, whatever that is. It can be a problem here at the lake, and very, very spotty cell phone coverage, right? You're in nature, it's rolling hills, it's big trees. there's not the best cell phone coverage. So you got to be cautious of that. If you're out there shopping for a property, you may find the most perfect property and you love everything about it, but when you show up and you can't get a cell phone signal, that's probably a problem. And so you got to be very cautious of that while you're shopping. And Wi-Fi coverage is also a topic of conversation. And you can get Wi-Fi coverage anywhere now with these satellite-based companies. So Starlink and other satellite-based companies, you can get internet. It might still be choppy, might still be spotty. You might not have the fastest type of internet, but you can still have it. But if you need high speed and you need it reliable, there's one local internet company here at the lake, but it's not everywhere. So if you find the perfect property and you need high speed, but all of a sudden this company doesn't service your area, then you might not be, willing to make that purchase because you need that high speed internet. So again, nobody really talked about that for us as well when we made our purchase, and we shopped from a distance like a lot of you are. And we found the perfect property and they took videos and did FaceTime and kind of walked us through things. But when we came down for the home inspection, we realized kind of quickly that we didn't have the best cell phone coverage, but we did learn that internet company was just about to service our area. So because they serviced our area, clearly we have high-speed internet, and then clearly we can get our cell phones to work off of that high-speed internet as well. So anyway, nobody really told us about it, but I'm telling you now, got to be mindful of your cell phone coverage, and you got to be mindful of your Wi-Fi service as well. We know that this is a tourist destination. We know that this is a peak season kind of environment. So your Memorial Day to Labor Day is the peak season. That's when the energy comes. That's when like the hustle and bustle. That's when everything opens up to the public, to the tourists, to everything, right? And what we didn't know and we had to learn is that when you make the transition, you're gonna go and find your favorite restaurants, right? Your favorite lakeside restaurants. I like to go to that place. We're gonna go there every other weekend, and we'll take the boat, we'll dock, we'll eat, we'll play, we'll have a lot of fun. And then you realize that, sure, as the seasons change and winter comes, you might not be taking your boat over there, but you still love the establishment. So we're gonna drive there potentially. But then you realize, because nobody told you, that a lot of these lakeside restaurants are seasonal. They don't even stay open in the wintertime. And so, this is not a big city with a plethora of opportunities or options when it comes to restaurants and food establishments. And even more so in the wintertime when half of them shut down because there's not enough tourist traffic, you lose your options. And so something nobody told us about, something I'm telling you about, that you are going to find your favorite lakeside restaurant. That restaurant is more than likely going to shut down in the wintertime. And if you're here in the winter and you like to go out and you like to eat, you're going to probably have less options. And so something to think about, probably nothing that's going to deter you from purchasing here, but it is something to be mindful of. Now, I like to think like in the wintertime, because there's half the restaurants that are open, you also get a really good sense of community, right? You get to go to the ones that are open, you can see the same people, you can build relationships. They're there all year round, kind of like you are, and so you can build that community a little bit better on the off season than you can in the peak season, because half the population down here during the peak season clearly is just here for a vacation, right? The population that's here from October through the winter and up until Memorial Day are probably more locals that live here full time. So food for thought, probably not too big of a deal, but understand seasonal environment, peak season kind of destination, tourism destination, and a lot of these lakeside restaurants survive off of those tourist dollars. And when they go away after Labor Day, a lot of times those lakeside restaurants are gonna shut down. So limited restaurant options in the wintertime. Depending on who you are and how you like to get around the lake, probably not as big of a concern as some of these others could be, but there's not a whole lot of like public transportation, right? You're not gonna have a robust like bus system. There's clearly no trains, none of that stuff that's gonna help you get around the lake if you needed to take some type of public transportation. And depending on where you are on the water or where you do live around the lake, you're always going to have like Ubers and Lyfts, but they might take a lot longer, might not be as many of them if you live further away from kind of the heart of Osage. And again, we're mile marker 42, so if we had to take a cab or a Lyft or an Uber, there's not going to be very many to choose from, and it's going to take a while for them to get to our house. And so, you know, you're not in this, again, metropolitan area where everything is easily accessible and you can just run out and grab it, or call a Lyft, or you want to go out with your friends, so I'm going to call Uber. Doesn't really work like that. You do have those services. There are some taxis for the waterways that you can take as well, just not as robust as it would be if you were in a big city, and probably nothing to, again, steer you away from making a purchase here. But if that's your thing and you don't want to drink and drive, right, or drive your boat, you know, intoxicated, and you're used to taking those services, just be mindful of the time frame that it's going to take for them to get to you and then obviously bring you back. It'll definitely add some time onto your trip. So there you go, guys. Just some fun things to talk about, some things that are unexpected that you might not know. You know, shopping from a distance and gathering information. We typically stay focused on the fun part of all of this, right? The lake life, the dock, the boats, the playing, all of those fun things. But some things of some realization, and obviously when you're making that transition, you have to understand that you are in the middle of the woods, right? This is just a big ass lake in the middle of the woods, and with being in the middle of the woods comes a lot of nature, comes a lot of bugs and spiders and just things that you're gonna have to deal with that you might not have known. Now, there are ways to deal with it. Again, bug guys, mitigation. I can see this guy over here spraying his dock, and so as I'm talking about mitigating bug, you can clearly see that there are those services down here. So don't be caught off guard. Things that some people don't tell you is going to be the bug life. And then again, this is a mountainous region, and it's hilly, and it's a lot of trees and all of those things, which makes cell phone coverage difficult, right? You got to find the right property in the right location, on the big water, on the cove, whatever it is you're looking for. But you certainly probably need to have a good cell phone coverage and service. Some of these properties just aren't going to have it, and that for sure could steer you away from not purchasing here in general, but maybe purchasing that specific property. And so be mindful of the cell phone coverage, be mindful of your Wi-Fi coverage as well. If you need it fast, if you need high speed, you're gonna wanna have the local company, you're gonna wanna find a property that they service. If you have to deal with Starlink or another satellite-based company, it'll work, probably just not as good. And then again, understand that this is a tourist destination. There is this influx of people that are going to clog up the roadways. It'll cause traffic jams on weekends and especially holidays. If you have to go out and run out, it's going to be difficult sometimes getting in and out of those grocery stores and navigating that. Don't be caught off guard. And again, not a lot of public transportation. You're not having a bus system, and trains and even Ubers and Lyfts can be somewhat difficult. So don't be kind of caught off guard in that sense. And you know, there's a few other things, and obviously as you're trying to navigate the pros and cons and relocation, we want to stay focused on all of the great things and the whys for wanting to come down here. Clearly the lake life, the dock, those kinds of things. But there are some things that we weren't told that I thought would be a fun video to share with you. So I say it all the time, these videos are great, but talking to you about the pros and cons and things to think about is obviously what I love to do the most, and get you connected to a home search and help you navigate the terrain, help you navigate cell phones and Wi-Fi's and cove life and big water and all of that fun stuff, right? Videos are fun. Hanging out with you is obviously more fun. So call me, text me, email me. Love doing Zoom calls, whatever I can do to help connect the dots for you in your relocation process here at the lake. I would love to do that. And until then, we'll see you guys on the next video.